Welcome back, gaming nerds. Thank you for clicking on this episode of Nerd Space. I am your host, Ruben, and I'm here to talk about something very near and dear to my heart, and that is Kingdom Hearts. Yes, I'm someone who absolutely loves the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Such a beautiful franchise that combines two juggernauts of different fields of entertainment. You take Square Enix and take Final Fantasy, and you combine it with Disney's most classic and beloved films. It creates a fantastic universe and franchise, and I absolutely adore the Kingdom Hearts franchise. Now, if you've never heard of Kingdom Hearts, I'm not going to dive too much into the background of it because I'm going to be completely honest, it's a very confusing game to understand, even from someone like me who has been a fan since the very beginning and names my dogs after these characters. But the fact of the matter is that this game can get pretty confusing. The most important part, though, is the fact that it actually combines these Disney classics into the universe of Kingdom Hearts. And that's what I want to explore today, because Kingdom Hearts 4 is just around the corner, somewhere down the road. It's on its way, and I figured now is the perfect time to focus on what Disney worlds can we expect to come in the next Kingdom Hearts title. So my name is Ruben with Nerd Space, and I'm here to tell you my top 7 choices for Disney worlds that will appear in Kingdom Hearts 4. So number 7 on the list is going to go to Zootopia. I absolutely love this movie. Me and my wife has seen this movie so many times, and I think this world will be perfect for a Kingdom Hearts video game, and I definitely would love to see this world make an appearance in Kingdom Hearts 4. I guess I'll start with the party members for this world, and that would be, of course, Nick Wilde and Judy Hopps. I think the two of them will be fantastic, and the bantering between the two of them while doing the story throughout Zootopia will be a fantastic addition to Kingdom Hearts 4. But I think one of the more cooler things to kind of think about whenever you're trying to figure out what world should be in the Kingdom Hearts game should be what type of landscapes and what type of elements could it bring into a Kingdom Hearts game? What can make it stand out? And for me specifically, I think one of the biggest things that will help it stand out is the different landscapes to explore. You have the Sahara Square, which is exactly what it sounds like, Savannah Central, which is pretty much like the downtown area, Tundra Town, and the Rainforest District, as well as some other smaller areas to explore too. So there's so much you can do and explore in the universe of Zootopia. But what's really cool is that Kingdom Hearts has been known to kind of create different costumes for Sora, Donald, and Goofy as he explores different worlds. It's how he's able to kind of act like he fits into the universe of that world. And what would be really cool is that we can see Sora and Goofy and Donald, but specifically Sora, become a human and animal hybrid type for his costume for this world. A perfect example would be Lion King, where we see Sora take appearance of a lion cub, and you get to battle like that. So yeah, I think this world would be great. I have this a little lower on my list for a couple reasons. One, I think the story of Zootopia is really cool, but I can't really see it connecting with the story of Kingdom Hearts that well, so I don't see those two going well together, and I think that's why I have Zootopia so low. So again, it's not something that I can see working perfectly for a Kingdom Hearts world, but it's something that I would really like to see just because I like to see the different costumes and the different creatures and Heartless types that we can get from this world. Okay, so number 6 on my list has got to go to Ratatouille, and I think I should explain myself here. I think I'll start off by explaining that, of course, your party member would have to be Remy, and I think in order to make that work, we would have to see Sora and the crew shrink down to a smaller size or be transformed into mice just like Remy. So basically, it would kind of be similar to Cinderella's world in Birth by Sleep. So we've kind of seen it work before in Vince's story in that video game. And I think it would be really cool if we maybe create like enemy types that kind of fit like smaller different critters. Or we can even try to create, and I know this one probably is completely out of the ballpark, but we could try to create maybe food type enemies. Maybe we see like a little carrot trying to kill people. I don't know. All I'm saying is that I think Remy and Ratatouille is such a fantastic addition to the Pixar and Disney universe. Now, we've already seen Remy introduced in Kingdom Hearts 3. He's kind of the one that teaches Sora how to cook and stuff. But I would like to see them maybe reconnect, and now we get to see Remy's story kind of build up a little bit more. So I think that would be something really, really grand to see. I think that's the reason why I have it so low on my list, is because with Remy already being introduced and he already has his own restaurant, I believe, inside Kingdom Hearts 3, it kind of eliminates the story of Ratatouille. But I had to throw it on here because I just really, really think it would be such a great world to explore. And like I mentioned before, you can kind of see the different enemy types, whether it be critters or you can see food-based enemies. So I'm not gonna waste too much time into this because, again, like I said, I know it's completely out of the ballpark, and it's probably a reach that this one will actually make it into Kingdom Hearts 4. But hey, I wanna be hopeful, and I really love Ratatouille, so I had to slip this in there. Okay, so number 5 is where we start diving down into the worlds that I think really do have a strong chance. Whereas Ratatouille and Zootopia, probably not gonna happen. Wreck-It Ralph for number 5, I think has a really strong chance. More than likely, the world will be Litwack's Arcade, which is the arcade that Fix-It Felix and the rest of the video games are inside during the Wreck-It Ralph film. I think there's so many different things they can explore, but I think the coolest way for them to go about it is to kind of make it seem like that you get to explore different video games, different worlds within a world. So for example, we'll see Ralph and the crew go over to Sugar Rush and play like a racing mini game with Vanellope and all of her peeps. Then we can actually see maybe Ralph and Vanellope, for whatever reason, have to go over to Hero's Duty because Ralph wants to become a hero now, so he wants to go to Hero's Duty to become a hero. And I think this kind of storyline parallels perfectly with Kingdom Hearts, because we've seen Sora be in this exact same position where he's somebody who wants to be a hero. He doesn't feel like a true, real hero, and he wants to learn and become a true hero and do whatever it takes to become a real hero. And I think Ralph is in a similar boat in this situation where he's trying to become a hero because he wants to prove that he's not just a big villain, that he can be a hero. And I can see Sora working with Ralph, helping him kind of gain that confidence in himself, and the two of them can work together throughout the story. So that's why I can see why Sora and crew will join Ralph in Hero's Duty to try to grab the medal that he wanted to go for. And I think something else that could be really cool is that we could see a cameo of Tron. Since we know Tron kind of exists in that arcade, we can see a cameo of Tron. Or at the very least, we can maybe get his summon from this world. So I think that's a really cool idea. I think some of the things that they would probably have to stay away from is that obviously IPs could be a huge issue when it comes to Wreck-It Ralph, because there were a lot of video game IPs. I think their best bet is just to kind of focus on the original IPs like Hero's Duty and Sugar Rush when making this world. So I think this is such a very unique world that they can do so much with. And don't get me started with the enemy types, because they can do all kinds of different type of enemy types. So there's so many different routes you can go with this, but I think Wreck-It Ralph is a very good choice for a world. And I think there could be a really good ending to this story where Sora can show how he became a hero from somebody who was a nobody on Destiny Island, and he is someone who can really, really teach Ralph that if he can become a hero, then anyone can. So I definitely think this would be a fantastic addition to the Kingdom Hearts 4 worlds. Actually, I think this is probably should be a little higher up, but I just think there's so much more stories to tell with some of the other choices. I do think Wreck-It Ralph has a really good shot at being inside Kingdom Hearts 4. Number 4 has got to go to Coco, and the reason why I say that is because I think the style and the music and so much from the movie Coco could add so much to a Kingdom Hearts world. First off, it would be a huge addition for Pixar. I think Pixar needs to kind of get in there a little bit more. We finally had Pixar introduced in some of the worlds with Toy Story and Monsters Inc. So now we can dive a little bit more into that and maybe get like 1 or 2 more worlds added into Kingdom Hearts 4. And I think Coco would be a fantastic addition. First off, let's focus on the party members, of course. We're probably looking at a Miguel and Hector. And then the enemy types would be fantastic. I mean, you're gonna have like the undead. This is the land of the dead. So it's such a fantastic world to explore. It will probably be very similar to maybe Halloween Town of the Nightmare Before Christmas world. So I would probably expect like undead monster-like creatures walking around. And as far as enemy types, like I mentioned, they would be skeletons, kind of similar to the like Heartless and the Pirates inside Kingdom Hearts 2. And I think Ernesto combined with a Heartless type would be a fantastic final boss enemy within this world. So I think that'll be a fantastic fight as Miguel and Hector have to team up with the Sora and crew to defeat Ernesto. And not to mention, you have the music in this world, and I think it's going to add so much more flair and flavor to this world. And I think the story of Soar trying to help Miguel achieve his dream would be an amazing story to tell, because Soar is someone who does connect with helping dreams come true. He believes that dreams are powerful things, and he would love to be there to try to help Miguel accomplish his dream. But it would also be a lesson for Soar that, not every dream is as it seems. And there's so much more story to tell there, and so much of a lesson to kind of speak there. And I think this addition to Kingdom Hearts 4 will be a fantastic addition. So number 3, I gotta take a look at The Incredibles, because the story of the Parr family would be an amazing addition to Sora's story. So first off, as far as the mechanics, the gameplay, it's probably gonna be very similar to Big Hero 6, but I think this could be a huge lesson for Sora, because he can learn about what it takes to be a real hero. So what I mentioned earlier when I was talking about Wreck-It Ralph, how Sora has already kind of learned more about being a hero from Hercules. Now we can see more stuff that he's learning about being a real hero. Specifically, he might learn how important family is, and I'm sure he already knows this, but it seems like Sora always forgets things that happens in previous games. But he probably learned that being together is stronger than being apart, and that's a huge lesson that he can learn whenever he's battling different enemy types created by who I think would be one of the most badass villains in the Kingdom Hearts game, Syndrome. Now, I think Syndrome will make a fantastic boss, because you can easily see him giving into the darkness and the Heartless, but he would also create an amazing sub-boss, the Omni Droid, which is this big, huge machine that fights the Incredibles. So I think both of these bosses will be great additions to the Kingdom Hearts video game franchise, and I can see different enemy types combining with the different Heartless that Syndrome creates. I think the only downside to this, and the only thing that makes me hesitant to kind of push this one up higher on the list, this is very similar to Big Hero 6, and we just got Big Hero 6. And I think that's why we didn't see Incredibles in Kingdom Hearts 3, is because they had to make a decision between Big Hero 6 and The Incredibles, and they already had 2 Pixar properties, so they probably felt like Big Hero 6 was the best route to go. And don't get me wrong, I'm a bigger fan of Big Hero 6. I love Big Hero 6. I was glad it was in that game. But I think that's the reason why Incredibles was left out. So maybe they might be willing to do Incredibles now, since Big Hero 6 probably won't be in his next title. It makes more sense. So yeah, I think Incredibles would be a fantastic addition to the Kingdom Hearts universe. And I think there's a lot of story tell there, and I think there's a very, very amazing lesson that could be learned by Sora just by him visiting this planet. Number 2 has got to go to Princess and the Frog. First off, it brings another Princess of Light in case they want to go that direction again. I don't know if they're going to continue down that storyline, because they already created another Princess of Light in Kingdom Hearts 3, and then they didn't even use that whole story element at all, really. They just kind of ignored that. So I don't know if they're going to go that route again, but if they did, Tiana will be a perfect Princess of Light. I also think there's some really unique characters in here. Party members could be Tiana and Naveen in their frog form, and of course that would probably mean the Sora and crew will have to become small animals like Naveen and Tiana, and then they could probably help them become human again. And then the enemy types will be very similar to that. We might see crocodiles or other animals turn into Heartless variations fighting Sora and crew. I think something that would be really cool is if they gain a summon from this world and we get Lewis or Ray the Firefly as a summon, but I do think this is a really cool story that they can tell. Now, I think the reason why this is so high up on the list is because I think about the enemy types, and I think about the perfect final boss, and I think Shadow Man, I'm not gonna mispronounce his actual name, Dr. whatever, Shadow Man, I think he makes a perfect final boss just because he sides with darkness already in the underworld, and you can kind of see him aligning himself with the Heartless and diving down into that power. And then he can create other shadow enemy types that kind of make a very unique fight. So I think he's a fantastic boss and a fantastic addition to the Kingdom Hearts lore. But again, just like with some of the other elements, we can talk about the environment. Louisiana is a very, very cool and unique environment, especially when you're traveling down the bayou. There's just so much to explore with this movie, and I think this would make a great world. But yeah, I absolutely love this movie. Would love the addition of Tiana and crew into Kingdom Hearts 4. Okay, number 1, gotta go to Moana. Now, I know, this is probably a huge fan perfect answer right here, because I'm sure everybody would probably put Moana as their number one, but I absolutely adore Moana. But even if I didn't, even if I just ignored how much I love the music and how much I love the story of Moana, you have to admit there's a lot of things that connect perfectly with the Kingdom Hearts universe. So let's start off with the party members. Obviously it will be Moana and Maui. Maui will add a very unique mechanic about being able to shapeshift into different types while fighting enemies, so that's already really cool. And then you would get a very cool mechanic from probably my favorite world in Kingdom Hearts 3, Pirates of the Caribbean. You would get that pirate ship mechanic where maybe you can travel and sail around to different islands. You can get that from Moana, because that's exactly what Moana and Maui do. That actually connects perfectly with Sora's backstory. It can remind him of his home world, Destiny Islands, where he's traveling around to the different islands with Riku and Kairi, and he's exploring these different islands on the raft that they built together. You could even show flashbacks of Sora, Kairi, and Riku building the raft. So it's just a really, really cool story that can be easily connected to Sora's backstory, and it's gonna have so much more gravity whenever he's on this planet. Not to mention the different enemy types. If you just ignore Heartless altogether, you still have plenty of different enemy types. You have the Coconut Pirates, you have Tamatoa, who would make a fantastic sub-boss. Not to mention you have Taka, who makes a fantastic final boss, which I think that right there is the perfect segue into why I think Moana makes such a great transition into the Kingdom Hearts lore, because it's all about losing your heart and regaining your heart. And without your heart, what a monster it creates. And that's exactly the story behind Kingdom Hearts itself, is that whenever you lose your heart, you become a heartless and you're a monster, and you just don't think, you just attack, and it's just pure evil without your heart. And that's exactly what happens to Te Fiti, who becomes Taka when she loses her heart, when Maui takes her heart. And I think that closely resembles the Heartless in the Kingdom Hearts universe. So I think that would work out perfectly. I think that translates into the Kingdom Hearts lore spot on, and I think that would be an amazing story to tell inside the Kingdom Hearts video game. So I definitely think this probably has the best shot at being in the Kingdom Hearts game. Even if it's not Kingdom Hearts 4, I can see this popping up in the Kingdom Hearts video game at some point. I think it should be 4, because like I said, this universe connects perfectly with Kingdom Hearts. Like I mentioned earlier, you got Destiny Island similarities. You got the flashbacks of Sora, Kairi, and Riku building a raft, and then them sailing around on a raft to all the different islands with Maui and Moana. And then you got Taka and Te Fiti. There's just so much story that connects with the Kingdom Hearts lore that this is pretty much the perfect world from Disney to enter a Kingdom Hearts game. But that's gonna do it for this episode of Nerd Space. Thank you so much for clicking on this episode. And guys, I love to hear what you guys think. What do you think about this list, and what world do you want to see in Kingdom Hearts 4 the most? I'd love to know your opinion, so leave it down in the comments, guys. But until next time, I'll see you on the next Nerd Space. Take care.